equals to mc squared. I particularly remember when I was in high school, in grade 9, it was called Standard 7 back then, according to the South African Department of Basic Education Language, guys. I learned about Albert Einstein, who said E equals to mc squared. I then learned that that means that everything is energy. And that has intrigued me for the longest time. I think that might be one of the reasons why I've been attracted or drawn to this content, the content that I'm sharing. Because when we understand energy, then we understand how we affect things. So hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel called Echo. This is how we become real woke. Yes, I'm so happy to have you again. Thank you to the subscribers. I really am humbled, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are new to this channel, I welcome you. Should anything resonate, please feel free to like and subscribe, and also hit the notifications icon so that you can be informed when we upload new content. So, without wasting any time, let's get into it. It's been so interesting to research further on the subject of energy and how it is the core of every single thing, right? So the statement E equals to mc squared means that everything is energy. And I learned also in high school that energy cannot be destroyed, right? It can only be transferred. Very interesting concept. That means that it moves from one state to the other. And this then takes me to the double slit experiment. Let's look at this.
So, what they taught us in school isn't really the way it is. And that our senses are playing tricks on us. You just gotta wonder, what is this reality that we find ourselves in? Quantum physics says it's all just waves of information. Do I believe that? I hope so. Yikes! And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double-slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. Physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. It was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this?
Isn't it interesting, guys? Right? So I follow a lot of metaphysical theories and a lot of quantum physics theories. So the experiment that you just saw basically explains that everything is either in a wave form or in a particle form. So if it's a particle, then it means it's matter. It's like the physical things that we see. But in wave form, it is potential. And once you as an individual observe that potential, then you collapse it into matter. You collapse it into a particle. So what does this mean for us, guys? It means literally we can affect things by choosing how we observe and how we are feeling when we observe what we observe. Okay, so I'd like to show you another clip that speaks a little bit about the physical reality as matter. So let's watch this.
There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter.
Matter seems like a good place to begin. The solidity of the world seems totally indisputable. As a fixed thing that you can see and touch, your body is also reassuringly solid. But beginning with Einstein, modern physics has assured us that this solidity is a mirage.
The life we perceive with our five senses is not reality. Quantum physics has shown that space and time are illusions of perception. Therefore, our bodies cannot truly be a reality if they occupy this space.
Rutherford performed an experiment in Manchester that revealed to him the shape of the interior of an atom. Scientists were shocked to discover that the atom is almost entirely empty space. The question then became, how could this empty atom possibly make the solid world around us?
So it has long been proven that it is not the other way around. It is not matter that creates energy, but it is energy or mind that creates matter or physical reality. So what has been interesting for me is to understand what an atom is. So an atom, we've been taught that all matter is made up of atoms, right? But experiments have been done in the past that prove that an atom is actually empty space. So it is very interesting, and scientists are still baffled by this because they can't explain how this empty space comprises physical reality, things that we can touch and see, because it is empty space. So I think quantum physics is much closer to maybe starting to get the answer to this, because quantum physics is more based on the wave form, on the potentiality. And once we understand this information, guys, we can actually affect, we can manifest at will. Have you noticed that sometimes you maybe at your own home and you get a visitor, a particular person, and every time that person comes to visit you, you notice that when they leave, you feel tired, you feel sad, you feel down. That is energy transference. It means that person came to you with their low energy and they transferred it to you, and they left with your positive energy. So it's very important to note such things so that you can be able to also protect your energy, because you don't want to be constantly depleted because people are taking energy from you. Okay, so watch out. We call those people energy drainers. Watch out for them. Um, the spaces that we interact with also carry energy. You get into a certain space, maybe you were feeling low, and then as soon as you walk in, you're feeling light, you're feeling happier, or you get into that space and you just feel sad, you know. One of the spaces that tend to affect me that way is hospitals. Yeah, I'm an energy worker. I can maintain frequency, but somehow when I'm in a hospital, it is so hard to maintain frequency. It drops, you know. So there are spaces like that. So also note and be aware for yourself that different spaces also emit different types of energy. Um, and yes, I think for today I will stop there. But I did want to say before ending this video that it is so important, like I said in the last video, for you to do your own research so that you can make sure that whatever information you are taking in resonates with you individually, so that you can be able to affect instead of being affected. And when I talk about positive vibrations or high frequencies, uh, do note that I am not talking about ignoring the low or the negative, but I am talking about walking the middle path. So it's important to be aware of the other side, but do not absorb, do not go into the abyss and stay there. Even when you get those low frequency feelings or the fear-based feelings, feel through them, grow through them so that you can get to the other side. Because I think maybe when people talk about toxic positivity is when you pretend to be on the other side, but you haven't really grown through your own shadows, your own traumas. You have not done your own healing. So you are sort of like pretending to be okay, you know, but you have to grow through. You can't not grow through. You know, it is part of the journey of life that we all go through the dark night of the soul so that we can emerge as the light beings that we are. So, on that note, I'd like to thank you for your time, for staying through to the end of this video. Once again, don't forget we have our Facebook group where you can engage. Please do share your own stories, your own experiences. I look forward to engaging with you further. And yeah, we will be adding a new playlist to the channel. Look out for that. I think it will be launched in the next 2 weeks or so. And it is also to serve the purpose of inspiring each and every one of us. It might resonate with a younger target audience. And if it does that, I'll be so happy. Yeah, once again, thank you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.